Oh man, so text messages have been released. I think this is actually coming from Shannon Sharpe's folks that's putting out these messages. And I'm gonna say this right here, boy, she got you good. She set you up. Now I don't know if the judge or the jury is gonna see through this, but she set you up, my boy. So we're gonna read through this text and you're gonna see that it was a thought out process and just walked into the trap, straight up. And also we're gonna see some more reactions to the situation as some people are just upset with him for putting himself in that position. So it says owner, so this is coming from Shannon. January 1st, 2025. She says, but I cried when you left because I begged you to put a condom on and not put it in my and you didn't listen. I don't care what our history is. No means no, Shannon. She texts, I don't know how to process this. He responds, can I call you later? But it's all green. I don't know if that means that they talked after or if he was blocked. I don't know. But earlier you could see the nature of their relationship was this. I want to be abused, daddy. That's her messaging him this in June 2024. And then also earlier that year, she says, I want like some hardcore BDSM action. TMZ says they have a lot of messages from them, hundreds of messages, and it's a lot of role play, kinky dominatrix type things in there. So they had this type of relationship, but it seems like she was setting him up to come over there, because remember the day before that is when she sent a message saying $25K for each cheek, I miss you and things of that sort. The day before she was texting him saying I miss you and talking about her cheeks. The next day she's talking about some no means no, Shannon. And also I'm thinking that she filmed this interaction as well. She probably was setting him up to come over and probably acting out that role that they got going on, whatever weird kinky stuff they got going on, and filmed it. And then flipped this on him in text messages and said, no means no, Shannon. No, bruh. I'm sorry if I'm cynical about the situation, but Tony Buzbee's involved, bruh. He probably was involved in the entire process to keep it G, bruh, with the setup and all. But this is the face of the lady that's trying to take down this lady right here. Her name is She Is Carly. They found her. Like Umar say, I guess she a salsa bunny. I don't know. She could be a salsa bunny or a snow bunny. It depends on what she identifies and how she live her life. But yes, her profile has hella OnlyFans type of promo on there as far as like, you know, trying to sell that ass. And it's just interesting. It's interesting, but nevertheless. So if you're wondering about people's reactions, they're not buying it. I don't know. These messages kind of seem like she had an agenda from the jump. First thing first, I'm giving a side eye. So anybody who chooses to work with a known shady lawyer, however, there's no way a 54-year-old should be messing with a 19-year-old in the first place. I don't care if the 19-year-old is grown. They are still a kid. The man is nearly 3 times her age. It's giving setup. I don't feel bad because y'all love these white women so bad. Set up from the beginning. It's so many beautiful, smart, and intelligent black women around your age, and this is who you choose, Shannon? Well, damn, plain Jane. The setup is immaculate, and I gotta give it to her. I want to be abused, daddy, so I can sue later. She said she want to be abused, so case dismissed, they were role playing. Bruh, like what y'all think? Y'all think the jury gonna be dumb or they gonna see through it? Like what y'all think? How this gonna go? Now, knew this is gonna be crazy. Whether he was doing this shit intentionally or he was like, you know, hey, you got me, I understand, you set me up, you it looked bad for me, because he tried to pay 10 million before. Now this is coming from his lawyers. His team says they offer her 10 million. That even looks bad. But you could think two things: either he really raped her or he realized that this was gonna look bad and possibly mess up his business, because sometimes some lawyers will advise you to, man, pay the settlement just so you don't have to deal with the media storm that comes with it, because Shannon Sharpe is in the middle of negotiating $100 million deals. A lot of people whose livelihoods depend on what he has going on. So you don't want this media storm. You don't want people to have to make a judgment decision on some shit like this. You want to squash it. So he could have been trying to squash it to kill the media storm before it came out, or he could have been really guilty. One of the two. Now, some conversations going around about a situation. Dude said this is why men need wives. It helps you stay focused and naturally forces you to think outside of yourself, and that mindset keeps you out of trouble. Being a bachelor sounds cool, but having sex with randoms is way too risky, especially if you're a man with resources. Yeah, man. But there is some issues with divorces. This dude right here says same thing happens to you in a divorce. It's not as egregious. Like, you know, is not as egregious. Dude says, since men understand the risk of divorce, we are refusing to get married, and women have found new ways to cash out like they would during a divorce. Like Coach Greg Adams says, lawsuits are the new divorce. It's not the same though, because this can affect your earning potential. Divorces, yeah, you may lose some money, but they don't stop your earning potential with someone slandering your name and ruining possible business deals. It's not the same. Now they going in under the video that I posted earlier that Shannon posted himself on all the social media. They say 56 years old doing race play, knowing damn well your granny was picking cotton is devious work. Big black baby, I don't know, maybe nah, this shit crazy. Lakers in 5. After you get out of this last scandal, it's time to settle down and call it a day, You too old to be busting down random OnlyFans chicks and going live with Michelle's. You're a successful public figure, find a solid wife, life partner gang. Facts though, listen. It ain't gonna absolve you from all issues, but it's gonna lower the risk. They say Deshaun Watson wants to work with you right now. He's confused because when Tony Buzbee was involved with the allegations he faced, you never defended his honor or said Tony Buzbee targets black men. Oh, what? Let me see what was he saying?
Their unhappiness with Deshaun getting the big contract because they feel like this gentleman did something to them, and it's almost like he was rewarded. So I get it, Skip, and these are some very serious allegations that they're alleging that Deshaun Watson committed against them, and this is why we need to let the process play out. And it's really hard to tell, Skip, because anytime you go to court, Skip, you're asking 12 men, having men, your peers, to listen to evidence. And who do you believe? Who do you believe is more telling the truth? Who do you believe is more forthcoming? Who is not fudging? Who's not adding or taking anything out? Who's telling you the truth? And you're asking 12 men and women, and that's what, Skip, it's all civil. Because the grand juries in Texas says, no, we don't believe that there's enough evidence here that we can bring charges and then have 12 men and women hear these charges and get a conviction. So they says, okay, you guys do what you need to do. So I don't know how.
Two different grand juries.
Two different grand juries says we do not believe.
Not to indict.
Chose not to, and people got upset. And what I've said, Skip, if that people all of a sudden when the grand jury didn't indict him, they said, well, that doesn't mean that he's innocent. But you automatically jump to the conclusion of these allegations of his guilt. And I'm saying if you're going to say that the grand jury not indicting him doesn't mean he's innocent, why do you automatically assume that the allegations means that he's guilty? I believe Deshaun Watson deserved to have his day in court, and he's going to have that day in court, Skip. He's been adamant. Skip, he could have settled these things and been all about his merry way. He says, but I refuse to settle when I don't believe I've done anything wrong. Now, the NFL is also listening to this. I don't know if the NFL interviewed those two women, Skip, but it's been reported that they have interviewed some women. It's reported that they sat down with Deshaun Watson and interviewed Deshaun Watson.
Numerous times.
So we're going to have some sort of resolution. We're going to have some kind of conclusion. But at the end of the day, somebody's going to be very disappointed. Either Deshaun Watson is going to say, man, I was wrong. I didn't do what these women said. Or these women going to say, he got away with something that we know what happened in that massage room or his home or wherever it took place, Skip. Somebody's going to be upset.
All right, that's all we need to see for that. That's fair. That's fair coverage. Fair coverage right there. I respect it. That's fair coverage. Now, people are bringing up this clip from Club Shay with Monique telling him, you need to start messing with these young girls. You guys only gonna hear the audio, but peep this real quick.
Now I'm looking right at y'all. Let me tell y'all what Shannon needs. Let me tell you what my baby needs. He need him an old fat gal who can bake good cakes, make some smothered turkey wings, who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime, okay, and gonna have a sip of his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon needs. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl.
I do.
This is your auntie talking to you. Take your ass and get you an old bitch out there that can love you old. You trying to hang out with these young bitches and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it. Dang. When they want you to go for the 4th round, you looking at her like, bitch, listen, you want some money to go to Starbucks? Yeah. Because I can't go no further. But if you get your older girl, when you get to that 4th round, she's going to say, hold on. Let me go get you some eggs and cheese and some toast with apple butter, because that's going to get your energy back up. I'm talking right to you. Shit. So he thought I was going to be scared. Yes, I'm talking. And I know an old gal, she'd be good to you. Her name is Elladora. Now I'm
Hella dork. All right, so now I did see a funny ass skit from Desi Banks, man. Desi Banks got some type of timing.
That was excellent.
You like a little fad, but it was cool.
My girl really dancing. Why would you do that?
You heard her?
You can hear me. She can't.
You okay?
Your ancestors are here.
So, crazy shit.
Comb.
What the fuck?
What?
Comb.
You want to watch one of my favorites?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
Oh, you cut that off!
That Django?
What the fuck? That's what I did.
You can run what you can have, Desi.
So you want to watch the playoffs?
Yeah, it's play out season.
Okay.
The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman.
Come back.
You got to tell me what's going on.
Let's just go. Let's just go. We good.
Okay.
Good. They come.
Like it?
They come.
What are you talking
I got
about?
them. You gotta go.
I thought we were having a double sleepover. Wait, I love you. Cassie? I want to leave. You gotta get away. I'll do anything.
Come on, Desi. Yes.
I'll adapt. You can run anywhere you want.
That's my
Dog. Bruh. Y'all seen the Umar in the bed, bruh?
Comb.
What the fuck?
Cool. But Umar's having a field day. This man cannot stop posting about this shit, dog. He cannot stop posting. He posted the Desi skit. Cotton bunny, plantation bunny, snow bunny, ice bunny, Clippers in 7. We stand with Unc, Bull Job, Lakers in 5, money grab. They said we stand with Unc. She really wanted the child support trap. You better crave it because you're gonna be stuck with it for life after you put a big black baby in me. Male celebrities are being hunted in the snow. She lied on Unc. He is having him a field day. Snow bunny hopper boogeyman strikes again. Goddamn, bruh. God. At ease. At ease to the snow bunny, bruh. Hey, this man is crazy. This man is crazy as hell. This man is crazy as hell, dog. But hey, I do want to hear from Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith is speaking from the perspective of letting us know what's going on with ESPN and how they're handling it, I guess.
So on one hand, going on the offensive to defend himself, I completely understand where Shannon Sharpe is coming from. On the other hand, when his legal team issued out the press release on X yesterday, and they spoke about, they mentioned her name, and they revealed some of those explicit text messages, that was uncomfortable. And I don't know if that's a strategy that would work. One of the hardest things in the world for all of us to do is to just lay low and be quiet. And let our legal team do it. And we don't always know whether or not that's the right thing to do. I know, and I can tell you all, that I spoke to Shannon. Not in details, but I spoke to him. And he emphatically proclaims his innocence. According to Mr. Buzbee, his client emphatically proclaims his guilt. So where does that leave us? I'd love to tell you that I know the answer to that question, but I don't. I am the executive producer of First Take on ESPN. I recruited Shannon. I went and got him and brought him to ESPN. But I'm not the boss. Those are other folks. There are layers to this, and there are certain layers even I am not on. I can tell you, I also spoke to co-chairman of Disney, the boss, Jimmy Pitaro. who made it very, very clear we are taking this matter very seriously. And we are looking into this very, very closely. And once we gather as many facts as we possibly can, we will go from there. Shit. And that is all he said. And I can mention his name because I received his permission to say that. I don't know what that means. In my perfect world, this equates to Jay-Z, where the case ultimately dropped and Shannon is allowed to continue on First Take and continue to thrive and shine. And not just that, and have an illustrious career in the podcast stratosphere, doing Nightcap with Chad Ochocinco, doing Club Shay, and ultimately gets this $100 million deal that he was all over the news about to sign just a couple of days before this report came out. In my perfect world, he moves on. And somehow, some way, we find this all to be false. But it doesn't seem like that's the way things are about to go down, considering who Mr. Buzbee is and how emphatic his client is proclaiming that she is right and she's telling the truth. I don't know where this is going to go. I can't speak to anything else. I don't know who Shannon Sharpe's legal team is and what they're suggesting. I imagine that everything that has transpired has been at the behest of his lawyers, not just himself. I can tell you again that when I spoke to him, he is emphatic in stating his innocence, that this is a shakedown, to use his words. How wise is it to use those kind of words when a civil matter of this nature is out there? When you have a podcast and you have advertisers and sponsors and you work for ESPN and they have advertising sponsors, I don't know. What can we say if any of us were in that position and we felt or were proclaiming we were innocent? I don't know. And I'm not about to pretend. I just wanted to make sure that I echoed to all of you that the only reason I spoke on this issue is because he works with me 2 days a week. He's on national television. He was on national television with me today. He was on national television with me yesterday when the story came out Sunday night. I didn't know anything about it until we got on the air. But he was on air. And if you know him in part because of all the work that he's doing with me and what he's doing in this industry, I know everybody's been waiting, like, Stephen A., what you got to say about this? I got to say what I just told you. I don't know what's happened. I know I got love for the brother. I know that I'm wishing that he's innocent and all of this stuff goes away and he can continue to thrive with me on ESPN and thrive in his own platforms that he worked so diligently over the years to build. But anything else would be entirely irresponsible for me to speak on. And I can't do that. Yes, I own this. This is my platform. But I also have a day job and I also understand what lawyers, what HR, and all of those other things entail. What I said is all I can say. And in all honesty, at this moment, it is all I know. I have no idea what direction ESPN and Walt Disney will go in when it comes to this matter. All I do know is it won't be me making a decision. It'll be others upstairs. In the end, all of us have someone to answer to. No matter how maverick we try to be and we own our own business and we're our sole proprietors like I am on this platform and stuff like that. There are advertisers, there are sponsors, there are people you do business with, there are partners, and there are bosses. That's the situation, unfortunately, that Shannon Sharpe finds himself in at this particular moment in time. I sincerely wish him the best. I got love for him. And I hope all of this is just a sad ordeal that goes away because there was no truth to it. But I don't know. Neither do you or the rest of us. And only time will tell.
All right, so dang, he said a mouthful right there. You don't know what ESPN gonna do. Disney, that brand is crazy. They gotta protect it. You gotta be smart as far as the position you put yourself into, man. And he always seems like a person that's speaking on avoiding these type of situations. So to be caught up into this is crazy. To see him being caught up into this is crazy. He thinks one thing that he did say as well is that he didn't agree with the, them releasing the text messages. And I was thinking as he was saying that, you're seeing things that we are comfortable with discussing. It may be crazy, but we're not his bosses. We're not the brand that has to stand next to him. And he's releasing most of the text messages that's saying things that are very vulgar, or have her saying things that are vulgar. So you're seeing what he's into, and it's uncomfortable for a company to stand by it. Although he says wild things all the time on Nightcap. He does. So it's really no different. Like, you can't ignore the things he said on Nightcap and then be surprised about saying that shit. He says wild ass shit on Nightcap all the damn time. So it makes sense that he would be in these type of relationships with the BDSM and all that stuff. But nevertheless, Tony Buzbee claimed that triggered the audio coming out with the phone call about the choking. That was Tony Buzbee claims. Did that trigger that for real? Were they already gonna put that out anyway? I don't know. Tony Buzbee says that they're gonna hold back on the actual video coming out. They're only gonna show it in court, he says. So, and speaking of, Tony Buzbee released some new audio after these text messages were released with Shannon once again telling the girl that he's gonna choke her, and it sounded like some more race play in there.
Well, you're coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Gabby.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah, I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
Not a good look that you do with the shit you did to me.
Okay, well...
My question still is, why is this going to be a civil thing? If you have hard down evidence of being raped, why aren't you taking this to the police officers? If you have evidence of video, that's my thought, but it is what it is at this point in time. But hey, man, let me know what you got to say in the comment section below. I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here, though. This is another update with Stace. Yo.